Sharon Local History. Here is another part of our series about Sharon and its maps. The last one was 1784, and this one is 10 years younger, 1794 to 1795. It's not a map, it's really a plan of Sharon. So I'm zooming in and I want to tell you a few interesting things. Beautiful handwriting. The Sharon, according to actual survey, this is a map done according to actual survey, and you can see the Boston distance in miles. From Sharon to Boston was 20 miles and 10 miles from courthouse in Dedham. Interesting thing here is that the roads were measured in rods back then, and the old post road, the road to Boston, was 3 roads wide. So one road was about 5.5 yards, and the other smaller roads in town were only 2 yards wide, 1 or 2 rods wide, so barely about 10-11 yards. Oh, I just realized I'm cropping off parts of the map for you. Sorry about that. So back in the looking at the map, here we have our lake. So in 1794, it is still called Mashapoak Pond. We have the brook that I mentioned in previous map. It's still called Mashapoak Brook. And we can already see the mills here. So this is hammer shop, sawmill, and the grist mill was on what we call knife shop now. We look at the center of town, and that would be Main Street right here. So we see coming from northern side, there's road to Boston. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the last video, but basically there wasn't Main Street coming this way to Cobb's Corner, but instead they went on what is now North Main Street, turn on Canton by the box factory, and went to the right to Canton. So that was the official road to Boston. If we go south, we have Billingspond, and this is where the Billings land was. Again, I'm surprised the Billings Tavern is not mentioned. However, we can see Old Post Road right here. It went all the way up towards the dam. And up here was Old Schoolhouse. So that's on the basically junction of what is now South Walpole Street. Up here is Moose Hill. So that's the bluffs. Right here, if you like hiking and you go to Audubon, you are familiar with the Bluffs and Allen's Ledge. There are two incredible spots for sightseeing. You can see Gillette Stadium, so Foxborough is this direction. Back down on the southern side of Sharon by the Billingspond, there was an old schoolhouse. I made another video about the schoolhouses, and there are some pictures that you can see. If we go towards the lake, so east of the southern part, there's the bog here, so that's what we call cedar wetland, cedar swamp wetland. Randall Tavern, so we saw it in the previous map, that was still popular tavern, and there were little cottages actually there as well, right here. So this road, East Foxborough, it was called Norton Road. On the southern side of the lake, there was another schoolhouse that we know of. There were actually two, one somewhere here, but this one is marked in the map. There's Massapoak Avenue here now. We didn't see it before. That would be right here, Mountain Street. I'm actually surprised it doesn't go further towards Easton, because it was at that time quite developed. Here we have another schoolhouse on East Street, so this one still exists and it's private property now. In the center of town, we can already see this road, which is current Depot Street. Right here, that's what we call Beaver Brook, but it was called Hobbs Brook as the owner. And this is basically a wetland now. So it's right below Moose Hill. You can actually, there's a hiking spot called Beaver Brook Trail. So from the train station somewhere here, you can go on this side of the bog, come out in cul-de-sac on the Berkshire. Really cool hike, actually. Meeting house is still here. Of course it is. We had, I think, 3 of them before it became Unitarian Church. And here is a schoolhouse. That was the old schoolhouse that eventually ended up on Quincy Street. Again, you can watch the video. Here is a grist mill. So that's basically where an old, this is Canton Street, where the old apple orchard was. Eventually it got flooded and it was turned into a mill. I forgot to mention this mill. That was basically where this is the overpass over train tracks, and there was another mill right here. Yeah, I think that's the basic of it. So schoolhouses were there, no taverns, ha ha ha. Bay Road doesn't have any taverns here as far as I can see. So Easton is down here and Mansfield. That's about it. So you don't see that many changes except that they put the schoolhouses, and the lake was still called Mashapuack in 1794 to 1795. All right, thank you for watching.